what's up, guys? Welcome back to Guys and Magic. This is Hunter and Shane. Say what up, Shane?
What's up, nerds?
We are back doing the backup $100 upgrade to Scions and Spellcraft. That's why you're here, right? You want to see what Shane's been building with Grahatia Scion Reborn. Is that right, Shane?
That's right. Can't wait. It's going to be going in a little different direction, but still pretty cool.
I am very excited to see the direction this one's going. We all saw Y'shtola. I was very excited to see that one, and now I'm excited to see this one. But Shane, before we start, I just want to remind everybody this is Grahatia, so if they did want to see Y'shtola, that is already up on the channel. Check it out. It's over there. So Shane, let's get started. I want to know about Grahatia and the direction the deck now goes.
All right, let's get into it. They are a white, a blue, and a black for a 2/3 cat wizard. It's got lifelink, which is very important. And it says whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may pay X life, where X is that spell's mana value. If you do, create a 1/1 colorless hero creature token and put X 1/1 counters on it. Do this only once each turn. The name of the game here is cast, maybe not the biggest spell right away, but just some spells. Pay a little bit of life, make the creature, put the counters on the creature, and then hopefully gain the life back because we're going to be losing possibly a lot of life with this deck.
Hey, I'm here for it. It sounds like a bit of a token strategy, and you know how I love my
Yeah,
token strategies.
mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see what you did with this upgrade. But Shane, before we get into those additions, let's hear a word from our sponsor.
Today's video is sponsored by Evoke the Art and their new Gradient Craft token series. This token set features 50 high-quality tokens in some stunning gradient art style, featuring some original art, free of any AI-generated designs, ensuring authentic and unique visuals, designed for players who appreciate both function and aesthetics. These will bring a vibrant and distinct look to your battlefield. Head over to zaxxmasstudios.etsy.com for more information on picking up these and more tokens. The link will be in the description. We got a special gift for all of our Guys That Magic fans. Use the code WhatsUpNerds at checkout to get 10% off your order and get this awesome Guys That Magic treasure token. Huge thanks to all of our friends over at Evoke the Art. Now let's get back to the video.
All right, Shane, let's go ahead and get into these additions. But as a reminder, all the prices that you see on screen are at the time of recording. And when we are recording this video, it's actually even before the pre-release. So these are very early prices. Prices could have fluctuated by the time you're watching this video. So yeah, talk to me about
Definitely.
some brand new cards first.
All right, the first one, it's going in from the new set. Like you said, Chocobo Knights. 3 and a white for a 3/3 human knight. It says whenever you attack creatures you control with counters on them, gain double strike till end of turn. The beauty here is that the creatures that I'm making from my commander are all going to have counters on them, and they're all going to get double strike now. And hopefully there's other ways to get counters in this deck as well, but just focusing on our commander making the creature with the counters, this card is going to make them all hit really hard.
Yeah, this card from another Precon deck fits really well when you're using Graha.
Yeah. I also wanted to put in one of the new crystals. So the wind crystal's going in, 2 and 2 white for a legendary artifact. It says white spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. If you would gain life, you gain twice as much life instead. And you can pay 4 and 2 white, tap it. Creatures you control gain flying and lifelink until end of turn. The lifelink I think here is very crucial because, like I said, we're going to be paying that life to make hopefully a big creature, and then we're going to need to gain that life back. So gaining double that life, and then also having an enabler to just make everything have lifelink and flying, really, really clutch here.
Yeah, if you can get the Chocobo Knights and the Wind Crystal down at the same time and activate the Wind Crystal, then you are super chilling with the amount of creatures that you've created with Double Strike and now Lifelink and flying and gaining twice that much. It seems magical Christmas land, but I'm here for
Yeah,
it.
it can get aggressive. It can get a bit aggressive.
But Shane, that looks like the only new cards from the set that are going into this build. Let's go ahead and talk about one of my new favorite cards. It is a Planeswalker.
Yeah, I was able to sneak this into the 100. I was shocked. But Elspeth Stormslayer is getting in 3 and 2 white for a legendary planeswalker, Elspeth. It's got a static ability that says if one or more tokens will be created under your control, twice as many of those tokens are created instead. It also has a starting loyalty of 5, forgot to mention that. The +1 also says create a +1/+1 white soldier creature token. Its 0 says put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Those creatures gain flying until the next turn. And then the -3, destroy target creature an opponent controls with mana value 3 or greater. And this card is slowly, not even slowly, quickly becoming an all-star in any kind of token matters deck or just go wide strategy. Such a good card, dude. Here we're going to be making double the amount of big beefy creatures, and then that 0 buffing them up even more making them have flying again. It's a bit of a theme with making my big things have flying, right?
Hey, if you can get in with that damage, by all means, add anything you can. And Elspeth Stormslayer, like I said, one of my favorite cards recently. Powerhouse. It's going to do work in this deck as well.
Yep.
But let's move on to some of those creatures that could gain you some life.
Yeah, like I was saying in the beginning, I think life gain is going to be really important with this commander at the helm because we're going to be probably using our life as a resource. So I'm putting in the Soul Sisters, at least two of them. Soul Warden going in for 1 white mana. It's a human cleric, a 1/1. It says whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. Pretty straightforward, and that's for anybody's creature that enters, which is important, but also yours. So all the tokens you're making, all everything you're making, start gaining that life. It might not be one, but every life I think is going to matter. I'll jump in the next one, sorry, and then you say something.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is Soul's Attendant for 1 white mana, 1/1 human cleric. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you may gain 1 life. So they're pretty much saying the exact same thing. I mean, one's a May, so that might be different, but whatever.
you're
You're
ne-
still gaining life.
you're never gonna not gain one life. Let's be real.
I'm just saying it does say May, so.
That's the
But
only
yeah,
difference between the two cards. But yep, the Soul Sisters, if you will, fantastic includes here. I just love that it's a world effect. So any creature entering, you just gain those life.
yep. And in this deck, life is definitely going to be your main resource.
For sure. Moving on, we got two more creatures.
Yep. Another one's going to help you gain a little bit of life. I'm throwing in Campbell, Profiteering Mayor, 1 a white and a black for a 2/4 human advisor. It says whenever one or more tokens enter the battlefield under your opponent's control, for each of them, create a tapped token that's a copy of it. This ability triggers only once each turn. And also says whenever one or more tokens enter the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So a little bit of the drain there as well as the gain. And just making more tokens when your opponents make tokens. And this guy I think is going to pull a lot away for you. And I'm a big fan.
I'm a big fan of Campbell as well. Just
Yeah.
that little bit of a gain and drain, like you mentioned. Plus, if your opponents are making awesome tokens, Campbell says, I want one too.
Yeah. Or even if not, maybe they're just making treasure. I want treasure.
Exactly that.
And then the other one I'm throwing in, again, you're going to see a theme here. Abzan Falconer's going in. 2 and a white for a 2/3 human soldier. It has Outlast, and it says each creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it has flying. So once again, all the stuff that our commander is going to be creating now has flying. So we can get over the top, smack your face, do fun things.
Yeah, I do see the theme. So far, every kind of category we've talked about has just gained flying for your team. And yeah, that will be a problem for anyone that's not flying. But that looks like the end of the creature department. We have one sorcery that you're throwing in.
Yep. So out of the box, I think there is a lot of good stuff already in the deck. But I wanted to throw in some things that have really high CMC that potentially won't cost as much for us. I'm going to put in Treasure Cruise. It's 7 and 1 blue for a sorcery. It's got Delve, luckily. And it just says draw 3 cards. So hopefully we can delve away a good majority of that, cast it for cheaper, and then we will have to pay the 8 life. But hey, pay 8 life, draw 3 cards, make up 9/9. Pretty good.
Yeah, all of that for potentially just one mana. That seems pretty good.
Yeah, let's hope.
Moving back into the permanent department, we've got one enchantment slash artifact I'm seeing.
Yeah, you're seeing another theme, which is we need to gain life. So Whip of Erebos is going in. 2 and 2 black for a legendary enchantment artifact. Creatures you control have a life link. You can also pay 2 and 2 black, tap it, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. If it would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. Activate only as a sorcery. I mean, that's a cool last little part. You can grab something back real quick, get some haste, but having everything have lifelink, that's super crucial because, like I said, we could be potentially spending 8 of our life at once. That's a big chunk to lose to yourself.
Definitely. I love Whip of Erebos in any kind of life matters decks. It's just fantastic. And finally, I see your final additions are just 3 more enchantments. What do we got here?
This first one is one that I think I've seen you play every time you get the chance to.
Yeah.
So Caretaker's Talent's going in my deck. 2 and a white for a enchantment class. It says whenever one or more of your tokens enter, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. You can level it to 2 for 1 white mana. It says when this class becomes level 2, create a token that's a copy of target token you control. And for level 3, it's 3 and a white. Creature tokens you control gain +2/+2. All really good abilities, really good modes. That top one, really good. So now every time that we have our commander trigger, we're going to draw a card. And I've seen you do it. Can't wait to do it.
Yeah, Caretaker's talent. Ever since this was like introduced in Bloomburrow, I fell in love as a token player. I'm like, okay, white card draw, we got it. Now we're good. It does trigger only once per turn, but it doesn't matter.
And the last 2 cards I'm putting in is going to be a combo. But the way I like to play is I don't really have any way to search these up. So if you natty draw it, dude, then you're super lucky. But Exquisite Blood and Sanguine Bonds are going in my deck. Exquisite Blood is 4 and a black for an enchantment. Whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. Really important here because you're going to be hopefully dealing damage to your opponents. You need to gain that life. So even if you just have Exquisite Blood on the field by itself, very important here. And then Sanguine Bond is 3 and 2 black enchantment. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. So you can see, once you get both on the field, you just drain someone down real quick. But just even the one on the board, like I said, can go a long way.
Yeah, I think we all know these two cards together and how much work they pull together. So, hey, the moment you just hit someone, you just win the game. So,
Yeah.
hey, but like you said, you're not adding any tutors, so this is just a natural draw. If you can draw them, you can draw them, and you'll win that way. But
Yep.
I'm here for it. But Shane, is that it? Is that all of the additions?
That's it. That's my 100.
All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to the sad part. We were taking a part of a very themed Universes Beyond deck, which is Final Fantasy. Some people might get a little sad seeing some of their favorite characters removed, but we had to make room for all those cool cards. So, Shane, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight into these cuts, starting with some creatures.
All right. Like I always say, don't hate me. If you like this deck, keep it together. But I wanted it to be a little more tuned, so this is what I'm cutting out. Emmett Selch of the third seat is coming out. 2, a blue and a black for a 3/4 Elder Wizard. It says spells you cast from your graveyard cost 2 less to cast. It also says whenever one or more opponents lose life, you may cast target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. If that spell would be put into a graveyard, exile it instead. Do this only once each turn. Just kind of felt weird in this deck, at least with the strategy I'm playing. I just want to play big spells and make tokens. I don't really care about this. So it's out. I'm also cutting a card that I'm going to butcher. Van Daniel, Telephoroi, Askakian. Askian. Yeah, we're just going to keep it like that one. It's 4 and a black for a 4/5 Elder Wizard. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you surveil 1. It also says at the beginning of your end step, each opponent may sacrifice a non-token creature of their choice. Each opponent who doesn't loses 2 life for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. It's a cool card. It's okay. It wasn't super crazy, and it was kind of heavy. I don't know. I don't think it's particularly my cup of tea, so I cut it. And also, Hypnotic Sprite. It is an adventure. The adventure is Mesmeric Glare, 2 and a blue for an instant. Counter target spell with mana value 3 or less. Meh. You could also pay 2 blue, get a flyer with the 2/1. Very, very underwhelming. Didn't like this card ever.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why you're cutting all these cards. Like you said, they don't fit in the build that you're trying to do, so you got your reasons, you take them out.
Yep. I'm going to be cutting Tataru Taru. It's 1 and a white for a 0/3 Dwarf Advisor. It says when it enters, you draw a card, and target opponent may draw a card. It also says whenever an opponent draws a card, if it isn't the player's turn, create a tap treasure token. This ability triggers only once each turn. This is really cool in a group hug deck, with like Bumbleflower maybe. But here, I don't want to have you guys draw cards, so I'm cutting it out.
Mm-mm.
I'm also cutting Thancred Waters, 4 and a white for a 3/5 human warrior. It has flash. It says whenever it enters, another target legendary permanent you control gains indestructible for as long as you control this card. It also says whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this guy gains indestructible till end of turn. Cool. Kind of expensive saving spell. I just don't think I need it anymore. I cut it. This next one I'm cutting, gonna butcher it again. Urianjo Agel. And I'm gonna stick with that pronunciation.
Good job.
Thank you. It's a white and a blue for a 1/3 elf advisor. It says whenever you play a land from exile or cast a spell from exile, you gain 2 life. You could also tap it. Look at the top card of your library. You may exile it face down, and then you can also tap it again. Until end of turn, you may play a card exiled with this card. Spells you cast this way cost 2 less to cast. So it's kind of like one of those things where it's like the hoop, and then it works. Unless your deck already is playing out of exile, which our deck is not. So I just easy got out of there for me.
Yeah, I'm not trying to help my opponent, so I see why you got rid of Taturo Turo, and then Thancred is not as powerful. And then this last card, like you said, it's more of that like step by step, gotta get to the thing. And that's a big no for me as well.
Yeah.
Moving on, looks like that's the final of the creatures. We got one sorcery you're removing, huh?
Yep. So out of the box, this deck has a good amount of board wipes in my opinion, and I don't think I need the most expensive one because I think board wipes interact kind of weird with our commander. If in fact our commander was on the field, you obviously wouldn't trigger it because you'd make the token, then you'd board wipe, and then if it's not on the field, I guess that's cool and all, but we have other ones in the deck already. So final judgment, I'm taking out 4 and 2 white for sorcery, exile all creatures. That's cool. Not a bad board wipe. It's just heavy, and I don't need 3 or more board wipes in the deck, so I cut one out.
Yeah, I disagree. I think this is a bad board wipe. We've seen farewell effects, which do more than just exile all creatures. That is the same
That's
cost.
true.
So
That's true.
not good. Final judgment. Get it gone. Moving on. I see 4 artifacts being removed.
You're gonna agree with probably most of these, but the first one you're really gonna agree with. Coveted Jewel. 6 mana for an artifact. When this artifact enters, you draw 3 cards. Tap it, add 3 mana of any one color. Whenever one or more creatures in opponent's control attack you and aren't blocked, that player draws 3 cards and gains control of this artifact. Untap it. What? Like why is this the thing? It's not in my deck though.
I hate this card.
I do too. That's all we need to say about that. I'm moving on.
Yep.
Not good. I'm also cutting Reaper's Scythe. 2 in a black. It's an artifact equipment. It has job select, so when it comes in, it makes the 1/1 attached to it. At the beginning of your end step, put a soul counter on this equipment. For each player who lost life this turn, equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each soul counter on the equipment and is an assassin that just other types. It costs of 2. This is really good in the base commander because our commander's hitting all the people at once with whatever happens. But in this one, not so much. So I think it's going to be really slow and probably not that big. So I cut it. And then I'm also cutting Sage's new lists again. 1 in a blue for an artifact equipment. Got the job select, and it says equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has, whenever this creature attacks, untap target attacking creature, and it is a cleric and it is other types. Equip cost of 3. Don't really think I need this. It's very meh. I get that it can be pseudo vigilance maybe, but it's whatever. I cut it. And then lastly, Tome of Legends. Not a big fan. 2 mana artifact. This artifact enters with a page counter on it. Whenever your commander enters or attacks, put a page counter on this artifact. You can pay 1, tap it, remove a page counter from this artifact, draw a card. So again, so many hoops, dude. Get the counter, add more counters, pay tap, draw a card. That's a lot just to draw a card.
Yeah. Yep. I see why you've cut all these cards. I'm in agreement with you here. Just not doing the thing that your deck wants to do. You're trying to go wide with a bunch of cool tokens. So, but I do see one card that you are a huge fan of getting the axe as well.
Oh, I'm such a big fan. So in this upgrade, I actually didn't add any lands. I didn't have the budget for it, but I am cutting one. So out of the box, it's 37. We're going down to 36, and the one I'm cutting is, in my opinion, horrible. Temple of the False Gods. It's a land. It can tap for 2 colorless. Activate only if you control 5 or more lands. So your first 4 draws is when you're going to get this card, and it's going to do nothing. And I hate this card, so I cut it.
Yeah, I hate this card too. I was just kidding. This card's not good. But Shane, that looks like it's your entire upgrade to Grahatia. Is that it?
That is it. We're there. We're done.
All right. Well, I have a question for you.
What?
We gave you $100 to spend on this deck. What is the price of these cards?
At the time of recording, which is now, and there will be some hopeful price coming down, I did add 2 new cards, but we're at $98.51. So
All right.
I'm thinking it's going to come down though.
Perfect amount of money to spend on this budget. I'm here for it. But one more question for you, Shane, before we fully wrap things up, is how do you feel about this commander? And now that you've made these additions and turned the deck a bit more tuned, how do you feel about the deck overall?
I think this is a really cool card and a pretty cool commander. I was originally thinking it was going to be more spell slingy, but definitely not in my opinion now. It's going to be wanting to cast impactful spells, making medium to large size tokens, and then hopefully gaining more life because you're going to be losing a lot. But I think it's going to be very fun. It's a low cost card. It'll be out early. You're going to be impactful hopefully early, so we'll see.
Hey, I am the token guy, and life is a resource, so just keep going
Very
at it.
true.
But that is going to do it for us today. If you guys like that video, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, so you're staying up to date with all the content that we are constantly putting out for you guys. You don't want to miss it. Comment down below. Do you agree with these upgrades that Shane has done? Maybe there's something that you disagree with. Always interested to hear your guys' opinions. Makes us better deck builders for the future. And while you're down there, go ahead and check out the description. You'll find links not only to this deck list, playtest it yourself on the Mox Field right there. You'll find links to our social media platforms. Follow us on those as well so you're staying up to date with everything else that we're doing. And on the screen right now, those are all of our Patreon subscribers. If you guys wanted to check out what they're seeing, that includes early access content and also exclusive content, please click the link in the description as well and consider subscribing. And a very special shout out to our Gains Indestructible tier, starting with
Aaron Hill,
Aaron Martin,
Brian Ganella,
Daryl Tripp,
Demarion Turner,
Dr. Jerome,
Jimmy Ward,
Kevo,
Larry Killian,
Thrifty PSGR.
and William Colombo.
You guys are awesome. Appreciate every single one of you. And until the next video, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.
Bye bye.